All right, hello everyone. Thanks for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So today I'm gonna go over a trade recap that I took today. We were green today. Sorry, the lighting is a bit poor today. Don't have my ring light, but that's fine. So first things first, what we're gonna do is we're going to look at the P&L today. So we have a gracious. We had a 13% up. This is when I fully started this account on the 31st until now. We're up 13% as of today. So, yeah, just for transparency. So, let's now head on to the trade that I took today. So, the trade that I actually took today was in Microsoft. And I'm going to clear up this so that we can hit that replay button and go and basically just discuss why I got into this trade. So, my strategy that I've been doing for the past literally 3 weeks and that I've seen quite a lot of great success in has just been trading price action and market structure. So, I look for areas of break of structure and change character, basically. Sometimes, if I can find a supply and demand zone, I'd mark those out, but I mainly just trade market structure, and that I feel like that is what is truly just the essence. So, what I like to do is drop down to the 15-minute time frame, and then let's go to the replay and mark up those zones. So, I like to trade high stacks and low stacks. Now, if you don't know what I mean by high stack or low stack, I do have a sort of course out, but it's in my Discord. Um, we're supposed to be launching on May 1st, so till then, I guess you'll see. But high stacks are basically just what people call high swing highs, and then low stacks are what people call swing lows. I just call it that because it just makes more sense in my brain. I've never understood. I didn't know that it was called swing highs and swing lows. I just started calling it low and high stocks because I didn't know what it was called. And everyone had like different definitions of what it was. So I just named it. I literally just named it. I'm beginning to think maybe I should actually call this strategy the HL strategy, stack strategy, the stack strategy. I don't know. But anyways, so when the time is 8:15 or at the end of 8:15, I look for high and low stacks. I bring out my favorite tool and I basically just mark up. I only mark up 3 price targets. So I'm only looking to take profit at the third price target because I've seen that's where usually momentum, when price stops losing momentum. Now, granted, price can continue to go up, and it's up for me to look at candlestick price action. But I find that, especially since I'm in the beginning stages of this strategy, I think it's safe for me to just use the price targets as a way for me to take profit. So we're going to start off with the low stacks. There's a low stack at this zone right here, which is what some people might call a swing low. And I just mark literally all 3 of them. Now I have parameters put in place for this, okay? I have parameters put in place. And again, I can only explain this in sort of like a rundown. Whenever I explain a rundown of my strategy, I'm just going over a recap right now. So I just look for, it could be the most minuscule low stack, and I would still mark those up. And then now I'm going to mark up high stacks. There's a high stack right here. And I'm going to color that green. And yes, I do this for all of the stocks right before market open. I only trade 4 at the moment, so it's really not too much. And then I look back for the most previous stack. So the reason why I have these low and high stacks is because to me this is showing the market structure of a break of structure or a change of character. Now, I could still go back a few days and see whether price is breaking structure or changing character. Like at this zone, you can see that price broke above here, and if price came back down and went all the way up, I'd go in for calls. But if price continues to break this structure all the way back down, I'd go in for puts. That's why I'm trading that's why I'm naming it like me trading market structure, because I'm literally trading market structure and going wherever my bias is determined by the current price action, because I trade in such a low time frame. So I go now on the 2-minute time frame and I just watch for price to go. Okay, so now that I've seen that price has gone through all three, so mind you, these price targets are just parameters put in place for me to know when to get in and get out, or to see where price is headed. So let's say it's already 8:32 or 8:30 or whatever, it's already passed. When I see that price has gone through all those three price targets, I go back to the 15-minute and I mark up the next low after that price after that candle has closed. So technically I could have marked up 5 price targets, but sometimes price could be slow in this zone. Anyways, I'm just gonna go over it. So on the 2-minute, I see that price has gone over 3. So what I'm looking for now is a pullback. I'm looking for a pullback, a retracement, and then price to come back down to pass this low, to pass this stack, right? Now, if price happens to reverse, I will look for any directions going up here, any high stacks that are leading to the upside. So I see that price didn't retrace yet, so there's no signal for me to go in. There's still no retracement. Now right here, I see that there's a low stack. So since price created a low stack over here, what I would initially look for is to see after this pullback, if price could come back down and pass this low stack, I would know that price is continuously breaking structure and going to the downside. But if price is I still have to be cautious, because price could still go above this zone here, which is technically a high stack. So I would mark this zone, like I would put an alert. I put an alert on this zone in case price continued to go up here and telling me that price is reversing. This is also looking like an area of demand. So that's also just something to look after or look out for. So when price came up here, I realized that it went above this zone here. And because it closed green and it closed above it, I was confident in going in. So I would say I got in around, or just typically I would go in around, at the close of this candle. And because I now have these three price targets as my confirmations or my parameters that are put in place for when to see the momentum of price, I can now gauge how I'm going to be in this trade. Now, I could also have my stop loss at this price target here, because now we're anticipating price to continue to the upside. So that would only be sort of a stop loss of almost up to $1, but you would want price to maybe at least go up to this like 40-cent one, also depending on the kind of contract that you have. So for the contract that I had, the delta was just slightly below the theta, so it was still a good contract, and it was a 6 DTE contract. So that obviously the higher the risk, the better outcome that you will have, and then the better the delta and theta, the more safe your risk is. So I was willing for price to go all the way down to this zone before I considered going out, or at a loss of 20%. So if you got in, I got in at this zone here. I saw that price was, increasing in momentum. It was going up, and you can tell that at these price points, they're sort of acting as support and resistance, because on the 15-minute, there is a lot of accurate depictions of how price is going, like the bias of the market of the day. And at this zone right here, if you also look on the 15-minute and you go back here, you can see that at this area here, there are 2 zones of supply. There's an area of supply right here, another area of supply right here, just to take that into account, because price is still going to have those healthy pullbacks, and you would want to get out of those trades. As much as you want to get out of those trades, you should stay in, because price, that's why you have to understand market structure. Price will have those healthy pullbacks. That's why it is the break of structure. After it went above this break of structure, this 15-minute high stack and retrace back down, I'm still anticipating price. I actually anticipated price to reject at that zone so that I can monitor it to see if it'll continue in an uptrend. So at this point in time, price started to consolidate just a little bit. There was really no direction on where the price was going. These candles weren't really strong, except for this wick right here. You know, you have this zone here that could stop a lot of people out, but price was still nowhere near the stop loss at all, and it showed a healthy pullback, just a little bit of retracement in this zone. So when price continued and immediately it hit this zone, I did get out just a little bit here, obviously because of slippage and all that sort of stuff when it gets filled. But ideally, this would be the zone that this is the zone that I exited off of. So I would say that I profited off of just roughly $2.46, and that's really just the explanation and how I traded today, how I got green today. Just trading market structure, price action, really monitoring the zones that you're in. I did have these other tickers marked up, but there wasn't much price movement and there wasn't much momentum in price. You know, you really want to trade in a trending market. You don't want to trade when there's a lot of wicks and a lot of short bodies in the market. So I chose the Microsoft because it had the most momentum, and I saw that there was a rejection at this third price target, and price continued to break structure to the upside. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.